Boris Johnson's done an embarrassing U-turn by giving visas to lorry drivers and poultry workers. 10,000 extra visas that are being issued, 5,000 for lorry drivers. But the opposition say it's a thimble of water put in the fire. In other words, it's tiny, no difference. 100,000 lorry drivers is what's said to be short. Imagine, as people look at it and they go back and they review Brexit, was it the right thing to do? All of a sudden there's a shortage of labour. But of course, what we do see is Europe's got issues as well, and so's America. In fact, there's a shortage of staff in lots of different countries. What's happened is that after lockdown, suddenly there's a surge in demand. And of course, because people were furloughed or people were paid in America while they weren't working, there's a lot of people out of the workforce at the moment. So you've got unemployment, but then wage inflation. Really unusual to have. Boris, of course, again, is being accused of being reactive rather than proactive. The problem was obvious, should have been done something about it before. And giving 5,000 lorry drivers a visa till Christmas Eve really doesn't have a massive effect. They say 1% of petrol stations are shut. But as I went through London yesterday, there were lots of stations that were shut. So is there really a crisis? Well, there certainly appears to be. And it appears that we're going to have this wage inflation, certainly until the end of the year, as people are paid larger amounts of money to fill the gaps in the workforce. Does that give continual inflation? So as we look at the stock market and we look at what's happening in the world, is there going to be inflation? Normally you get a situation whereby you get full employment, then you get wage inflation. This time it's because there's a shortage in particular parts of the workforce that's causing wage inflation. Of course, once you start to get inflation, it starts to move away. In other words, once somebody's getting a pay rise, somebody else wants a pay rise. Goods go up in price, somebody else needs a pay rise. It starts to accelerate, it compounds, and the governments will be keen not to allow that to happen. Normally you put the brakes on by increasing interest rates. But right now the economy can't afford interest rates to go up. So what we've got is we've got this period whereby people hope that inflation is just a short period of time. But is it a longer term effect? Hit subscribe and I'll tell you what's going on this YouTube channel so you can keep up to date. Right now it's not known. Is it temporary or is it permanent inflation that's going to cause an issue? I promise I'll keep you up to date and I'll make sure in concise language you know exactly what's happening in the financial world and what it takes to be successful in life.